All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are listening from. This is Royal Motion International. All protocols duly observed. I welcome you to this amazing session. Please, if you know your team members are not here with us, especially your newly activated members, please quickly remind them that they can join us as soon as they can, because tonight is going to be the understanding of the RQTMI templates, meaning that you need to understand this because this is the first thing you must know before you start to make money with your boat. As you all know, that RioQ is a semi-automated boat, meaning that you have to give it a set of instructions. You have to give it a command. It is the command that the robot will be making use of to trade for you. So the reason why you need to understand how to give the robot the command. So this template is where you get the settings from, and the settings will be based on your capital. How much capital are you going to be using to trade with your boats will determine which settings you are going to be making use of. Everything is on the template. So I am going to be sharing with you guys today on how to make use of the templates, generate your settings, go over to your RoyalQ back office, and then you input and save the settings, and you can start to make use of the settings to pick your trades. So please pay attention, put out anything that will be of a distraction to you so that you will listen attentively. In fact, get your writing materials. All right, so let's move on, please. My name is Coach Mo. Please, if you have questions, just write down your questions so that by the time I'll be done with my presentation, I am going to give room for questions and answers. All right, permit me to share my screen so that we get started as soon as we can. I believe every one of us can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, let me see a yes as a confirmation on the chat. If you can all see my screen, let me see yes on the chat. So it's not about activating your boat. It is about understanding the business, because when you activate your boat and you're not even interested in understanding it, I am telling you, in just few weeks or few months, you get discouraged. Yes, you get discouraged because this is trading. This is a skill set you're learning. So you don't expect to just activate and you start making money. No, this is a do-it-yourself system where you do everything yourself. You don't need to give anybody your money. Everything is done on your phone and in your account. The only thing is just to give the robot a set of instructions and the robot takes over from you. That is just what you need to learn and understand the market condition by always showing up on our Zoom sessions. All right, so the first thing you need to take note of here is that you need to install an app. And the name of the app is called WPS Office. Now, this app works like an Excel sheet, Microsoft Excel app, sorry, but this is not Microsoft Excel. The reason why we use WPS is for you to be able to work on the template, because you need to edit templates. But with the Microsoft Excel, you might not be able to do that. So please take notes. This is the right app to make use of to access the templates. If you don't have access to the templates, please request for it on the group where you got the Zoom link from. It is going to be shared with you. So once you are done installing this app, then you have to open the template with the app. I already have the app on my phone opened. As you can all see, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. But when you open it, you will notice that at the top of my screen, we have dashboard, we have RQTMI Magic 1, Magic 2. This is what I mean. You can see at the top. you can navigate, you can move to your left and move to your right to switch from one settings to the other. But the first there on that tab you can see is what? The dashboard. On this dashboard, we have settings from 1 to 8, which is Magic 1 down to Magic 8. But what we are going to be focusing on tonight is Magic 1, Magic 3, and Magic 5. Why? Because this is the settings for the bull run. This is the bull run settings. And we are in the bull run, even though it has not officially kickstart yet, but very soon, in a few months' time from now, officially, we are going to be in the bull season. But this is what we are using for now. The remaining settings are for the bear season, which we don't need them for now. So please pay attention to the Magic 1, 3, and 5. But when you check by my right, you'll find out that we have something else here, which Magic 1 covers for 30% dip, Magic 3 covers for 25% dip, and Magic 5 covers for 50% dip. What does this mean? Before I talk about what this means, please take note that for proper risk management, we always recommend you to trade 3 coins minimum and 10 coins maximum on one shot. What do I mean by one shot? One shot is a trading strategy on your RoyalQ boat. We have one shot, we have Circle. Circle is autopilot. For those interested in autopilot, but RTM might have their minimum capital for autopilots, and you must take note about that, is 3,675. But for one shot, minimum is $100. But we recommend you to trade minimum of 3 coins for one shot. One shot means a one-time trade. Okay, so if you have $300, you trade 3 coins, but please take note, if you don't have up to that, you only have $100, is still fine. But take note, minimum is 3, maximum is 10. And now I said something about the areas I cycle, which is the 30% dip, 25% dip, and 50% dip. What do I mean by this? This means that when you instruct a robot to start to trade for you, it picks up the coin and buy. Because remember, what we do here is spot trading. And in spot trading, we are interested in buying low to sell high. So we buy here and we sell high here. Buy here and we sell high here. So we are buying low to sell high, buying low to sell high. But what happens when the robot buys low and instead of the price to go up so that to sell, the price starts to dig down? Now, this is it. You bought here, expecting the price to go up so that you sell, but it came down. It retraced down for to a certain price, down to a certain price before moving back up. So at this level of downtrend or retracement, should in case the percentage of drop in price is minus 30%, the robots would have used all the capital allocated on that trade to buy that coin at different price intervals, meaning at cheaper prices, because we are buying low to sell high. When cryptocurrencies are falling down in price, it is an opportunity for you to buy at a cheaper price, so that by the time it is selling, it will sell and give you more profits. And also take note, RoyalQ has a futures. It makes money for you uptrend and downtrend. So this is what this covers for 30% dip means, covers for 25% dip means, and also covers for 50% for Magic 1, 3, and 5. So take note about this part before we move on to the settings. Please, is this well understood? I want this session to be interactive so everybody will respond to my questions. Is this well understood? I want everybody here who don't understand this Excel sheet to respond to my question. If this is understood, please let's proceed to the next. Is this fully understood? Okay. All right, awesome. Let's move on, please. So the next thing from here is to go to the magic wand. Now let's go to the magic wand so that I'll show you how to properly use magic wand based on your trading capital. So let's say, for example, you have a trading capital of $1,000, or let me use $1,300 today. You have a capital of $1,300. No, let me use $900. You have a capital of $900. You don't know which of the settings to make use of. This best way to do it is that since you know minimum number of coins we recommend based on risk management is 3, you go to your calculator. Go to your calculator and you say 900 divided by 3. 900 divided by 3 will give you 300, but we cannot use 900. So let me use 1,000 or 1,2 or 1,1. 1,2 is still fine. Let me use 1,2. Okay, so let's say you have a capital of 1,200. Then you say divide by 3. Divide by 3 gives you 400. Now, it means that you can allocate 400 per trade, meaning you can trade 3 coins, 400 per trade. You now go back to the template and check. You will notice that on the template, we have a boldly written statement there that shows you the minimum capital that you can trade with this magic wand settings. So for magic wand settings, you can see, you can see minimum capital is what, $320 for magic wand settings. It means that from $320 and above, you can make use of this magic wand for your trade settings. So since you know that magic wand is $320 and above, and you do from your capital of $1,200, you can use $400 per trade, meaning you can trade 3 coins. Now, how do you impute this on your template so that it will generate the right settings for you? Before you input it, this is where you input it. Still have the remark. You input it on the remark, there is one thing you need to do because you're using magic wand. You have to subtract first buy from your $400 capital. First buy is this, which is 20. First buy amount is 20. You can see where we have 20. So when you say 400 minus 20, it gives you 380. 400 minus 20 gives you 380. So now you are going to impute 380 where we have the green color. So let me remove what we have here. We have 313. We don't need this. I'll edit, tap on it. You tap on edit, then you write your 380 because 400 minus 20 gives you 380. After imputing the 380, you can also confirm if you are correct. How do you confirm if you're correct? Go down. You will notice that the total here is what? $400. So it shows that you are correct. You are doing the right thing. Because if it's not showing you 400, it means you did not do your calculation very well. Because these digits you see here, all these figures you see here, is what gives you the total capital, which is 400. And it changes based on what you impute on that remark column. All these figures, they change depending on what you insert on your remark column. All right, so now you understand this part. Let's move on to the next. Before we move on to the next, I would like to take a few moments to explain all these parameters, what they mean, so that at least you have an understanding on how these parameters work. First here is what risk type. For risk type, it's just how you instruct the robot to trade for you. We have 3 types of risk type. We have the conservative, we have the radical, and we have the steady. Radical means aggressive, steady means just not too fast, not too slow, and then conservative not too fast, not too slow, and steady slow. But we use radical. Why? Because we want the robot to be aggressive in buying and selling. So what we use is radical. That is what it means. For remark on the template, it is where you impute your capital, your trading capital you want to allocate per trade. Because remember, if you are generating your settings from here, you are going to save it on your RioQ back office. You just need to save it once, and you can always use that settings over and over for other trades. The only time you may want to change it is when you want to change your trading capital. But let's say this is 400 you want to use per trade now. You just save these settings for 400 and you can load it on 3 trades to trade 3 trades at a time. That is what I mean. So in this case, remark for the template is where you impute your capital to generate the settings for you. First buy amount, it means the first amount that the robot will be making use of from your trading capital to start trading for you. You go to a shop or you go to the market, the first money that you move from your wallet to the market is what we refer to as the first buy amount. So it is $20. The next is open position doubled. Open position doubled means you are telling robots, always multiply my first buy times 2. We don't use that. That is why we say don't enable, because it is of no use. AI margin call controls how it buys the margin call drop, the margin calls for you. We don't need that because we already have our manual settings. Margin call limits, it is the number of times the robot will buy for you. You go to the market, you want to buy from 20 different shops at different price intervals. That is what margin call limits means. So the robot will buy 20 times. It will distribute your trading capital 20 times and buy 20 times, depending on the percentage drop. Okay, remember for Magic 1, it is 30% dip. So depending, if it gets 20% dip, it must have finished buying up all the margin calls. But if it doesn't get up to that, you still have some capital reserves in case it still goes deep. All right, so that is what it means. Then the hold position take profit ratio, where you have 3%. Please pay attention. Pay attention to this part. For the hold position take profit ratio, what this means is that when this robot buys the first buy amount, when it buys the first buy amount and buys the first to the fourth call, it takes it as a single entity. What do I mean? Some people will say, what do I mean by single entity? Now, this is what I mean. The reason I said you should pay attention. When the robot buys the first buy amount and buys the first to the fourth call, plus the first buy amount, it takes all the position opened as a single entity. So let's assuming $200 was used to distribute, to buy the first call down to the fourth call. When it is selling, it combines everything together and sell as one, as a single entity. That is what this 3% is for. Please, do you understand what I just said? What the hold position take profit ratio is? If you understand, let me see a 111. I'm talking about the hold position take profit ratio. Do you understand what it is? Let me see a 111 if it is well understood before we move on to the next. I repeat again, first, hold position take profit ratio is the total profit that was used, the total capital that was used to buy the first buy amount, the first to the fourth call. When it is selling, when it is time to sell, when it wants to hits the take profit is 3%. Yes, we are buying low to sell high, meaning that robot, when you buy at a certain price low, when it gets to the 3%, you sell, but you are selling only the first to the fourth call to give me that 3%. So any amount that was used to buy those positions is what it will give you the 3% when it sells. That is for the whole position take profit ratio. What about the whole position take profit callback? The one you have 0.01. 0.01% is what it means. Cryptocurrency are known to be very volatile. So there is a high tendency that when it wants to get to the 3% take profit, it can go beyond the 3%. So what RoyalQ will do is that it won't sell. It will be waiting patiently until there is a pullback or retracement. Now, a retracement of what? We use 0.01%. Why? Because it will sell quickly. So once there is a pullback of 0.01%, it will quickly sell and leave the market, meaning you are making more than the 3%, more than the initial 3% take profits. Buy-in callback controls how it buys the margin calls. See, similar thing to what I just explained, but in this case, it is for the margin call, how it buys the margin call, how when it is dipping, when the price is going down, how it buys those margin calls. There must be a pullback or a retracement of 0.1% before it trigger and buy the first call, trigger and buy the second call, and so on and so forth. That is what it means. Distributed take profit allocation. You can see the 5th to the 20th call, use 1.3%. What does this mean? Pay attention. For this, by the time the robot buys the first buy to the 4th call, it takes it as a single entity, which is 1. But the 5th call downward is where it makes money for you downtrend. 4, 3, 2, 1 first buy is uptrend. When it wants to go and hit the final take profit, that's when it will sell everything together. But from the 5th call downward, once you see your robot buys 5th call, 6th call, it has started making money for you downtrend. Anything from 5 call and below, it makes money for you downtrend. Those are what they call sub sales. That is why you see when you are trading, you'll be seeing sub sales. There is sub sales. All those are making money for you downtrend. That's what it means. But the 5th call here is a single entity. 6th call is a single entity. 7th call. So each of them from the 5th call are all single entity. So this 1.3% is for each of the margin calls from the 5th call downward. It means that when it wants to sell, it is steady to give you 1.3% of what? Of the capital that was used to buy the position, the 5th position, the 6th position, and so on and so forth. Because the market can do this, it will go up, go down, go up, go down, go up, go down, go up, before it finally go and hit the take profit, the final take profit. So all these are making money for you in sub sales, So you are making money downtrend before you find. So you can do that over 20 times, 3 times, 10 times before finally hitting your take profit. And then for the sub position take profit callback, it is the same thing. Instead of 1.3%, it goes beyond that. When there's a retracement of 0.01%, it will now quickly sell and leave the market. Simple and clear. This is how these parameters work here. Strategy period. Remember I said we are using one shot. Meaning once the robot leaves the market, it doesn't go back until you go and set a new trade. That is one shot, one-time trade. Once it sells completely, it will leave the market, return your capital and profit back to your Binance, because everything is done in your Binance, not on RoyalQ. What is the next thing here? Margin configuration. Margin configuration is the engine of your settings. Why do I say so? That is where all the distribution of or the allocation of your capital is done. That is where all the allocation of your capital is done. So for the margin call drop, when it drops down, let's say, for example, it buys the first buy, instead of the price to go up, it went down to minus 0.2%. It will trigger and buy the first call. And then instead of the price to go up, it went down again deep to minus 0.5%. It will trigger again and buy the second call. But how do you know how much the robot will buy? How will the robot know how much it will buy? It is already on these settings. That is where you have the multiple buy-in ratio. this. Sorry. You see, the multiple buying ratio, this is where it instructs the robot on how much capital it is making use of to buy. So for 0.4, you can see the first score is 0.4. 0.4 multiplied by the first buy is what it will use to buy the first score. Now, if I go to my calculator and say 0.4 multiplied by first buy, which is $28, you are telling robots, use $8 from my $400 to buy. After using $20 for first buy, use another $8 to buy what? To buy first score. When it dips again by 0.5%, you are telling robots, use 1.5. 1.5% of what? 1.5 of, sorry, not 1.5%, 1.5 of what? 1.5 multiplied by 20, meaning $30. So it will use $30 to buy another position. So this is how it distributes the capital accordingly. Please, is this understood? Let me see another 111 on the chart, if this is well understood. Awesome. All right, so I believe everybody is following up with what I'm saying. No worry, for those who joined late, it's fine. You have nothing to worry about. This session is being recorded. Once we're done, it is going to be uploaded on the YouTube channel. You need to subscribe to the RPTMI YouTube channel because every recording, every session we do is being recorded and it is always uploaded on the YouTube channel. All right, so let's move on, please. Now that you understand that this is how the margin configuration works, so it's time to move over to the RoyoQ app. So that I'll show you guys how to save the settings over there. I'll show you guys how to save the settings over there. So this is my RoyoQ app. When you get here, the next thing you need to do from here, you tap on mine, bottom right of my screen, you find mine. On the bottom right, you find mine. You tap on mine. You scroll down, you tap on my strategy settings. See where you have my strategy. All right, so sorry, please. My network threw me out. I believe you can see my screen now. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, okay. All right, let's on, please. All right, so I was saying something here. You will want to come here and save the settings gotten from the templates. Okay, the next thing to do from here is to tap on mine, bottom right, tap on mine. When you tap on mine, you scroll down and you look for my strategy settings. You can see it, my strategy settings. You tap on it and it brings you here. The next thing to do from here is to tap on the plus icon. You'll see the plus icon at the top right of my screen. The top right of my screen. it will open the exact page we have on that Excel. The exact page is what you see here. You can see we have risk type, we have remark, we have first by the same thing. So this is just what you do, copy and paste. You don't need to stress yourself. You don't need to think too much. Everything is already on that template. Just know how to impute your capital after you understand how to distribute your capital. So you still understand the other settings, which is Magic 3 and Magic 5. But for now, remember, we are working on Magic 1 settings, which is minimum of $320 and above. So now we want to impute the settings one after the other. For the risk type, remember on the template, it says use radical. You tap on here. Let me show you. You tap on this place where we have steady to change it from steady to radical, because the template says use radical. So you tap on steady, you change it from steady to radical, you tap on radical, and then you tap on sure. You tap on sure to confirm. Now, the next thing is, take note, the remark on RoyalQ is for you to impute the capital, to give it a name, a description, to give your settings a description, so that you won't get confused, especially when you have more than one settings. So the remark for RoyalQ is where you give it a name, the settings a name. In this case, I am going to put $400 capital, but I am going to add default because this is default settings. I will explain. Default settings means you're making money uptrend and downtrend. We have the default set RQTMI default settings. We have the RQTMI bull tactics category 1 and bull tactics category 2, which I will be talking about that when we are done understanding the Magic 135 default settings. So for this, I'll leave it like this: $400 capital default. First buy amount, use 20. I am not just saying this from my head. It is what we have on the templates, please. On the template, you see first buy amount says use 20. Where is the first buy amount again? Use 20. We are done with radical. Now is first buy amount. Open position double, don't enable. AI margin, don't enable. Let's go back again to RoyalQ. Open position double, it is already turned off by default. Leave it like this, the way it is turned off. AI margin call is enabled, so we tap it once to turn it off. So once you tap once, it will turn off. You can see it has turned off. Next thing now, you need to take note of for iPhone users. You know, iPhone, their things are always different. For iPhone users, you won't see this AI margin call here. You will not see this AI margin call here. What you see here is what? What you see here is just open position double. So for the AI margin call, it is when you are loading the settings on the coin you want to trade that AI margin call will show, then you have to turn it off. But for Android users, please, you tap on it to turn it off. This is an Android phone. Next is what? Margin call limit. Use 20 because that is what the template says. Hold position take profit ratio, 3%. You can use it at 1.5%, 2%, 3%, depending on you. And depending on if you are using signals, depending on if you are doing analysis, 1.5% minimum, maximum 3%. All right, so let's leave it on 3%. Hold position take profit callback, 0.01. We are going to jump the margin configuration. Let's do that last. Let that be the last. Buying callback, 0.01. Distributed take profit allocation, when you check here on the template, it says use 1.3% for the 5th to the 20th call. You can see it. So let's move on to the templates. Let's move back to the templates. So I'll tap on this distributed take profit allocation. You can see by default, it's already on 1.3%. So we don't need to do anything here. Just tap on sure. Now, the next is what? Sub position take profit callback, 0.01. And strategy period. On the template, it says use one shot. So you tap on, so many people get it wrong here. Please don't leave it like this. Like this is on autopilot, meaning it will If it sells completely, it will go back again and buy again. And that's not what we want to achieve here. We want it to sell completely and leave the market. So tap on circle. Tap on this circle to switch from circle to one shot. Once you tap on it, you can see it has changed from circle to one shot. So this is the right way it is supposed to be. Now the last is what? Margin configuration. For margin configuration, everything here is what you put there. You can see the first call to the 20th call, 0.2, 0.5 for margin call drop. And we have a multiple buying ratio. So let's do this. I'll not do everything because you understand what I'm saying here. I'll just show you to 4, 0.5, 0.2, 0.5. Now, let's go for the multiple buying ratio. Ensure you do everything just the way it is on the template. Then for multiple buying ratio, you'll do the same thing, 0.4, 1.5, 0.4, 1.5. So we go ahead and do exactly as it says, 0.4, 1.5, 0.4, 1.5, stop here. So you make sure you do everything just the way, you input everything just the way it is on the template down to the 20th call. And then you can now save. You can now save. And let's save. This is how you save your settings. So whenever you want to trade, you pick these settings to load on that coin, then you start your trade after doing the needful. Change it to sub-memory time settlement, everything. We already have this on the video. But for those who don't understand, you can see ask question when it's time for questions. I'll see explain in detail. All right, so now this is how you make use of Magic 1 settings. Let's move on to Magic 3. Remember, we are looking into the default settings, the RQTMI default settings. These settings, some people say, how do we get it? We got this based on our experience. Our experience in the last bear season and last bull season is what we use to create this template. Now, Magic 3. For Magic 3, the minimum capital for Magic 3 is $100. So take note. If you want to make use of Magic 3, you need a minimum capital of $100. So let's say you have $300. It means you can trade 3 coins, $100 per coin. You have $600. You can trade 3 coins with $200 per coin. But Magic 3 works this way. Before you impute your remark, you don't need to subtract the first buy the way we did Magic 1. Remember, for Magic 1, before we slot in the capital on this remark, we subtract the first buy from it. Magic 3, you don't need to do that. If you're using 200 to trade or to get your settings, just impute your 200 there on the remark and you confirm. For you to be sure that go down to margin configuration again, you will notice that you have 200 here, which shows that you are correct. This is how you make use of Magic 3. If you only have $100 capital, meaning you can only trade 1 coin at a time, you also come back here, edit, and you write your 100. You don't need to subtract anything for Magic 3. To confirm if you are correct, check here, you notice that you have 100 here. So this is how you verify. I believe for Magic 3 is well understood. I believe for Magic 3 is well understood. This is how you generate your settings for Magic 3. Now let's go to Magic 5. Let's go to Magic 5. For Magic 5 is the best settings to make use of for those who have the capital. But what is the capital? The minimum capital. The minimum capital is 520 and above. The minimum capital is 520 and above. It means if you have anything below 520, you cannot make use of Magic 5. That's what it means. So let's say you have $2,000, for example. You don't know which settings to make use of. All you need to do is to go to your calculator and you do your maths. Okay, I have $2,000. Since I know that I can trade minimum 3 coins, let me see how many coins, 3 coins, how much I will use to trade each coin if I'm trading 3 coins. So I'll say 2,000 divided by 3, 666. Okay, 2,000 divided by 4, 500. Oh, 500, I cannot trade with Magic 5 because it is 520 and above. Okay, let me trade 3 coins. 2,000 divided by 3 will give you 666. So you go and impute your 666 here. But before you do that, for Magic 5 works the way Magic 1 works. You need to subtract the first buy. You go back again, you say 666 minus 20, 646. So you come back here on the remark column, you write 646. For you to be sure you are correct, you go down again, you can see we have 666 here. And the reason why I said this is the best settings to use, if you can use it, is that by the time this robot buys the first buy to the fourth call on Magic 5, 50% of your capital is already allocated on the trade, while the remaining 50% is distributed to the fifth call, from the fifth call to the 24th call, because Magic 5 is 24 margin call, 24 margin call limits. That is why we say Magic 5 is the best settings to make use of. So this is how you make use of your RQTMI default settings for Magic 1, Magic 3, and Magic 5. Now let's move on to the Bull Tactics Category 1 and Bull Tactics Category 2. So since we are already on the Magic 5, let's make use of Magic 5 for this demonstration. Let me show you guys how to make use of Bull Tactics Category 1 and 2. What do I mean by Bull Tactics Category 1? Bull Tactics Category 1, before you make use of it, there is something very important you must take note of, which are the conditions. Which are the conditions of using it? What are the conditions? Number 1, you don't make money downtrend. Number 2, you only make money uptrend. Number 3, when it is selling, whatever your take profit is what it will make you of your 100% capital. Let's say you are using 3% take profit and your trading capital is $520. Your trading capital is $520. When it is selling, to make you 3% of $520, which is what? 3% of $520 will give you about 15 point something. When it is selling, it will make you $15. That is a lot, right? But you are not making money downtrend. In case the market goes against you, take note, you are not making money downtrend. That is what it means. So if you agree to this condition, no problem. That's what the Bull Tactics Category 1 means. So please, if you are not the patient type, don't make use of only Magic 5, combine it with Magic 3. But how do you make use, combine it with the default settings? If you are making use of the Bull Tactics and you don't have patience, please combine it with the default settings. So now, how do you make use of this Bull Tactics Category 1? For you to make use of it, if you are using Magic 5, you are telling the robot, don't buy from the fifth call downward. Only buy the first buy down to the fourth call and you stop. But from the fifth call downward, please don't buy. Why? Because you want to use the leftover capital to do manual replenishment. By doing manual replenishment, you are adding manually the leftover capital to buy that coin, and it will be added to the first buy down to the fourth margin call, which is a single entity. So this means that by the time it is selling, it will sell everything together. It will sell everything together as one. That is why you see the 520 will give you $15 when it sells, if you're using Bull Tactics Category 1. How do you now get your leftover capital? But before that, take note, since you are stopping it from buying the fifth call make sure you edit the margin call drop of the fifth call from what you have there to 50%, because it will be very difficult for a coin to go deep by 50%. In fact, you can even turn it off once it buys the fourth down to the fourth call. Once it picks up, you can just turn the margin call once it has finished buying the first to the fourth call. But just in case you don't forget, that's why we say, okay, put 50% there so that you just stop there without buying the fifth call. Then you use your leftover capital to do your manual replenishment. Now, how do you know the exact capital to use for manual replenishment? It's very easy. You are going to add up the first call to the fourth call, whatever you get plus 1, whatever you get multiply by first buy amount, FBA. It will give you a certain amount. Now that amount, you subtract it from your total capital, which is 666 for these settings. Whatever you get will now be your leftover capital. So let's do it together so that you guys will see it practically. So we are going to add up the first to the fourth call. So it's 1.6 plus 6.5 plus 1.6 plus 6.5. So let's do it. 1.6 plus 6.5. 1.6 plus 6.5 plus 1.6 plus 6.5. It gave us what? 16.2. 16.2 plus 1 gave what? 17.2. 17.2 multiplied by first buy, which is 20. 344. Now, 344 is what the robot will be making use of to buy the first buy to the fourth call. How do we now get the leftover capital? Leftover capital, you say 666 minus 344. 666 minus 344. 322. Meaning that 322 is the leftover capital you are making use of for your manual replenishment. So how do you do manual replenishment? Once the robot picks the first buy amount, you don't need to wait for it to buy the first call or second call. Once it picks up the first buy, it means that your robot is already trading that coin for you. Open the trade, tap on buy, tap on market price, and then you impute 333, the column after the market price down, and you confirm. By doing so, it will manually buy and be added to that position or whichever position it has bought. However, some people will say they want to wait for some time before they do manual replenishment. You can also do that. But if it is a pump that happens, if it's a pump that happened on that coin you're trading, it might just end up selling fast without you doing your manual replenishment. That is why we say always make sure you do manual replenishment when it picks the first buy. But you can say wait for some time. Maybe if there's a small dip, you now do your manual replenishment, whichever. Okay, but I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, this is how you use the bull tactics category 1. Is the bull tactics category 1 well understood, please, before we move on to the bull tactics category 2? Is the bull tactics category 1 well understood? Please let me see a yes or a no on the chart before we move on to the bull tactics category 2. Okay. All right, now let's move on to the bull category 2. For the bull tactics category 2, you are telling robot, buy for me to a certain level, buy margin calls for me to a certain level, down to what? Magic. Sorry, hold on. Down to magic 10. Down to margin call 10. Down to margin call 10. Buy for me to a certain level, down to margin call 10. So it means that the robot will buy the first buy, first call down to margin call 10, then it will stop. On this margin call 10, it will not buy again, meaning from the 11th call downward, robot will not buy. That is where you do your manual replenishment from. You get your capital, leftover capital that will be used to buy the 11th call down to the 24th margin call, then you do your manual replenishment. In this case, the 11th call, you are changing it to 50%. That's the margin call percentage. Margin call drop percentage will be changed from what you have there to 50% because it will be very difficult for a coin to go deep by 50%. So this is how you impute this and instruct it. Now, for the calculation, it is the same thing I showed you guys for the category 1. You make sure you add up first to the 10th call for the multiplying ratio. Whatever you get plus 1, whatever you get multiplied by the first buy amount, which is 20. Whatever you get, you subtract it from the capital, which is 666. It will give you the leftover capital. This is how you make use of Magic 2, bull tactics. Remember, we are making use of Magic 5, RQTMI Magic 5. Now, let's move on to the bull tactics category 1 for the Magic 3. But Magic 3 only works with the bull tactics category 1. You cannot use bull tactics category 2 for Magic 3. Only bull tactics category 1. And we are only stopping it from buying. We are only going to stop it from buying the first call. We are allowing it to buy the first call and stopping it from buying the second call. Sorry, the second call. Oh my, what's happening? I don't know what was happening now. Okay, we are stopping it from buying the second call to the 7th call. We are allowing it to buy only the first call for Magic 3. Bull tactics category 1. Bull tactics category 2 cannot work with Magic 3. So how do we get the leftover capital? But before that, we have to stop it from buying the second call by changing this percentage to 50%. You change that 5 to 50%, then you go get your calculation for your leftover. Very easy. You go to the multiple buying ratio. You only use this, the first call, because we are only allowing it to buy the first call, 0.7 plus 1 multiplied by first buy. First buy for Magic 3 is $15. Whatever you get, let's do the math together. This is $100 capital. So we do the math. 0.7 plus 1, 1.7. 1.7 multiplied by first buy, which is 15, 25.5. 25.5 minus 100 will give you 74.5. Forget about the 0.5. You are to use 74 for manual replenishments. You have to use 74 for manual replenishment. This is for Magic 3, bull tactics category 1. You cannot use bull tactics category 2. But for Magic 1, you can use bull tactics category 1 and bull tactics category 2. The same process. Stop it from buying the 5th call. Allow it to buy the 1st to the 4th call for bull tactics category 1. Bull tactics category 2, you stop it from buying the 11th call downward. The same process applies to Magic 1. The same process for Magic 5 applies to Magic 1, bull tactics category 1 and 2. But remember, risk management will say always make sure if you are trading 3 coins, 2 should be on bull tactics, 2 should be on default settings, and then 1 should be on bull tactics category 1. I repeat again, if you are trading 3 coins, 2 of the coin, you trade the default settings with it. Why the 1 coin that is making it 3rd coin, you are using bull tactics category 1. And remember, we said you can also use compound interest. For those who want to compound, power of compounding. Bull tactics is the best strategy to use when you want to compound. If you're using three, let's say you want to use 200 per trade. You want to allocate 200 for category 1, and you're taking 1.5% per trade. or per trade, 1.5%, and you want to target 300 successful trades. When you do the calculation, you can see 17,200 and what? $17,211 after 300 successful trade, which is massive. This is for those who want to compound using the bull tactics category 1. So you can see day 1. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. On these ads. Okay. Sorry, guys. It was an ad. Okay. So now this is it. You start with $800 for compounding with the bull tactics category 1. The first profit, taking 1.5%, is $3. You add the $3 to the capital, which is 203. So on your next manual replenishment, you made $3 extra. So when you do your replenishment with your $74, if you are trading with, okay, sorry, not 74, for 200 is 150 for manual replenishment. When you want to use your 150, you add the previous profit made, that's $3, together the 150, making 153 as your manual replenishment. This is how you keep compounding. Your next trade will be 203 now. It sells, you get what? 3.04, meaning you now have 206. When you want to do your manual replenishment, you add $6 now, together with what you want to use to do your manual replenishment. This is how you do. By the time you must have finished trading 300 trades, taking 300 successful trades, this is going to be your results. This is what is going to be your results. $17,211 after 300 successful trades. I am using just 1.5%. Imagine you're using 3%. So it all depends on you. If you want them to quickly sell fast, use 1.5%. You can even use 1.3%. All depends on you, but 1.5% is not bad. It's still fine and perfect. Please, I believe this is well understood. This is well understood. Remember, I said if you want to use risk management, trading 3 coins, 2 should be on default settings, 1 should be bull tactics category 1. If you are trading 4 coins, 2 should be on bull tactics, 2 should be on default settings. Bull tactics category 1, 2 should be on default settings. If you are trading 5 coins, 3 should be on default settings, 2 should be on bull tactics category 1. If you are trading 10 coins, 5 should be on default settings, 5 should be on bull tactics category 1. Please, do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? If there's anything I've said that is not clear, please feel free. Raise up your digital hands. I am going to unmute you to speak up and ask your question. It's very important you need to understand everything that has been said tonight, because this is the first step to your successful trades as a newly activated member. If you make any mistake here from allocating your capital the right way, you are not going to get the results you desire. So please ensure you ask questions. Ask questions, please. Ask questions, please. Or I can see King Kabir. King Kabir, please, if you can hear me, unmute your mic and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, Coach. The question I want to ask is about the bull tactics. When we do manual replenishment, so does it mean that there won't be any opportunity for any margin call when it goes down, when the market goes against someone? So that is the clarification I seek, sir.
All right. So when you're using bull tactics category 1, you are telling the robot that when the market goes against me, do nothing. So you just have to exercise patience for it to sell, because that moment when there is a dip, you don't have capital as leftover. You don't have any capital reserve to buy those margin calls for you. So the robots will do nothing, will be waiting patiently for the price to reverse back up and go and hit the take profit. So you are just to remain patient. That is why we say trade at least minimum 3 coins. But if you don't have capital for 3 coins and you still want to go with the bull tactics, please take note. you have to understand that you don't make money downtrend. So you remain patient. Just remain patient. Very, very soon, once we enter the bull run, whether you're using bull tactics or default settings, a lot of money is going to be made, and it's just around the corner. So just understand the concept behind it so that you will not have any issues, please. I hope your question has been answered.
Yeah, sorry, but what if someone have additional funds? Can someone still open margin call for the bull tactics?
Okay, good. Another good question. Now, if you have capital, extra funds, that is a good one. For those who have extra funds, once it is down, it is deep, you can open more margin call so that you enjoy making some money downtrend, depending on when it will sell. In fact, it will help you to reduce the floating loss, because when robot buys margin calls, it helps to reduce floating loss. So yes, you can open more margin call. It will continue making money downtrend, depending on when it will go up and sell. Yes, it's possible, please. You can do that as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, King Michael, please, if you can hear me, unmute your mic and speak up.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
All right, good evening.
Good evening. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question that you replied that yes, you can buy, rather you can open margin call. Can one open margin call on bull tactics?
Yes, you can open margin call on bull tactics. Yes, just calculate the extra money needed for the margin calls. You understand?
How do
you
we
just
know
put
that?
the
How do
exact
we
money
calculate?
needed. You should know that from your capital. If let's say you are using $100 to trade, and you know your leftover you used for manual replenishment was 74, you need to have an extra $74 to cover up for those margin calls. Or if you want to enjoy it very well so that you make a lot of money downtrend, you use our way of opening margin calls the right way, which is either Magic 2 or Magic 1. With Magic 2, you need $525. Magic 1, you need $320. Magic 2 is the best, but you need $525. Once you use $525, you start to make serious money downtrend. Serious money downtrend, and it will help you to reduce your floating loss fast.
Okay.
But if you don't have, then just return back the you put in the exact capital you used to do your manual replenishment from that, the leftover capital. Exactly. But if you really want to enjoy making money downtrend, use Magic 2 or Magic 1 to open margin calls, especially for those who their robot has exhausted their margin calls. Very perfect to use, either Magic 2 or Magic 1.
Okay, my clients have been since April.
Yes, I can't hear you. You said what?
I said since April, I've been on a floating loss.
You are trading one coin, right?
2.
Okay. Don't worry, it will come out. Just remain patient, or you open more margin calls.
All right.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me head to the chat and see if we can get some questions there. So, okay, from King. Okay, King Chris said, how do we do manual replenishment? When you open the coin, you will see buy. Where you see trade settings, where you see strategy mode, you will see buy, you will see sell. Tap on buy. Once you tap on buy, you need to tap on market price. Then you see a column down where you impute the leftover capital. That is what you want to use to do your manual replenishment. And then you tap on show. That is how you do manual replenishment. I hope it is understood. King Chris, do you understand what I just said? Do you understand what I just said? All right, TMZ. These are how show on how the robots impute the manual buy. Manual buy, the same manual replenishment. Okay. Since people don't understand this, but let me show you guys. Let me share my screen. Also give me a second. All right, so this is a trade. So when you come here, you open the coin you want to use for manual replenishment. You tap on buy. You tap on buy. Once you tap on buy, this page comes up. You tap on market price. You see where you have market price. You tap on market price. I am talking about the manual replenishment now. How you do your manual replenishment or manual buy, it is the same thing. Let me tap on market price now. Now that you need to tap on, if you tap on market price, tap it again. You see where you can impute something here. It is wrong. Don't do anything there. That is where you put limit buy. We are not doing limit buy here. We want to buy at the current market price. So you tap on market price. Ensure it is selected and it is in blue color. Some people make this mistake. So it's good that I'm going to show you guys now so that you understand it. So you tap on market price. iPhone users, you don't need to tap anything. It is already on market price by default. But for Android, you must select this market price. Then you come down and now put your leftover capital. Whatever you have is 150, is 200, whatever is your leftover capital, you put it. If you are compounding, you add your previous profit. If it's $6 you've made before, 156, you tap on sure. This is how you do your manual replenishment. I believe it's clear. I believe it is clear. All right, let's move on to the next question. WPS Office, what is it about? It is what you use to access the Excel templates. Excel template is what you use to generate the settings based on your trading capital. Please, you have to rewatch this recording, okay? Rewatch the recorded session so that you understand better. It is going to be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search for RQTMI, ensure you are subscribed to the channel so that you will not miss out on every video uploaded on the channel. All right, let me move on to the next question, please. How do we replenish? I have shown you how to do your manual replenishment. Okay. For Acro charts, we will do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. Please just make sure you ask that same question tomorrow. Okay. How do you open more margin call with either Magic 1 or Magic 2? Good question. I love this question. So somebody is asking, let's say you want to open more margin call, okay, with either Magic 1 or 2. How do you do that? Please pay attention. Let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again. So how you do that is you go to your templates. Let's say you want to use Magic 2. Remember I said Magic 2 is the best. You want to use Magic 2 to open margin call, and Magic 2 is what you can see here, 525. We have, you cannot edit this just the way it is. The remark, you cannot edit it. It is the first buy you can edit if you, in case you want to use more than 525, but 525 is okay for opening of margin call. Okay, so just use it the way it is, like this. You don't need to change anything. It is already on the 525 settings, so you don't need to change anything. That's why you have remark here, 525. So what you do now, let's say you are running on Magic 3 and you want to use Magic 2. Let me repeat myself again. You are running on Magic 3 settings. You want to use Magic 2 to open more margin call. You funded your Binance with 525. You go to your Magic 3, open it, tap on trade settings. First buy, make sure you put 15. What you have here is 15. First buy amount. The next is margin call limit. Since Magic 3 is 7 margin calls, this will now be 57. You edit the 7 there on your royal queue, change it to, you are editing the trade this time around, the trade. Open the trade, tap on trade settings. First buy for Magic 3 is 15. So still leave it on 15 because Magic 2 here says 15. But margin call limit is 7. You write 57. Why? Because you want it to open extra 50 columns for you for your margin call drop. Whole position take profit ratio. Leave it like this. Whatever you're using there for that trade, you leave it like that. Don't do anything there. If it's 3% that was already there before, leave it like that. Just leave it like that. You don't need to do anything here. Then everything remains the same. Distributor take profit ratio, change it to 1.8%. Change it to 1.8%. Where you see this strategy period here, please ignore this. This is for autopilot. We use Magic 2 and Magic 5 for autopilot. Ignore this. This remains one shot for your own settings. Leave it on one shot. Just ignore this. The only thing you are changing here is what? The first buy, margin call limit. You add what you had before together with this, edit, and distributed take profit allocation. We are done with this part. Now let's go to the margin configuration. Margin configuration now, you are going to start from the 8th call because Magic 3 stops at 7 call. 8th call will be number 1. 9 call will be number 2, second call. Like that, you continue until you get to the 57th margin call drop. What I meant here is that on the margin configuration on your Magic 3, it stopped at 7 call. You've already opened extra 50. You continue from here downward. 8 will be first call, 9 will be second call until you get to the 50th call. And you do the same thing for the multi-buy ratio. 8, 9, 10, like that, till you are done editing this. This is how you open more margin call. Once you save, make sure you enable your margin call. If your margin call was turned off, please make sure you enable it. I believe this is well understood. Please, is this understood? Who asked that question? Let me find King Marcelo. Please, I hope your question has been answered. I hope your question has been answered, King Marcelo, if you can hear me. This is how you open margin call. Same thing goes to Magic 1, the same process, please. The same process. Awesome. All right, King Sunday, please, I'm a newcomer. Please, let's it be uploaded so that we can... Yes, sure. It is going to be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Just search for RQTMI right now on YouTube. You find it and subscribe. Then patiently wait for the video to be uploaded. What normally leads to floating loss? Floating loss is part of the business. One thing about this spot trading people don't realize is that spot trading is the trade you do without losing money. The worst thing that can happen to you is called a floating loss. And there is no way you trade crypto spot trading without experiencing floating loss. Because this market is unpredictable. Yes, you can analyze the market, but before it gets to your direction, there is a possibility of coming down first before going up, because people must buy and people must sell. The reason why this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Trading, in fact, in general, is not a get-rich-quick. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, and it takes consistency. So you need patience. This is not a business you do and you double your money in 2 days, in 1 month. No. At least minimum, have it at the back of your mind that 3 to 5 years. However, the bull run is around the corner. Bull run in a few months' time, bull run will start, and bull run is going to be massive because a lot of money will be coming into the crypto space, and it will make all the price of cryptocurrency go high. So a lot of money will be made. So yes, you can make a lot of money during this bull run. So just make sure you are positioned. You understand RioQ, you know how to use your boat, you know how to trade with it, and you position. And also don't forget to get some coins for hodling. All right. Now I can see somebody raising up his hand again. Okay, King Michael, please. I think this would be the last question. Time is no longer on our side. This will be the last question. Okay, RQTMI. Just search for RQTMI. RQTMI. Just replied your question on the chat. RQTMI. King Michael, please, your question will be the last, so unmute your mic and ask your question.
Yeah, my question is, this time is simple. Like the other day, they say we should buy some coin and
Yes,
odds
please.
for the bull season. So if we buy them now, where are we going to keep them? Is it
In
on
your
Binance
exchange.
or?
You can leave it on Binance,
Okay.
but if you're leaving it on Binance, transfer it to your funding wallet so that it not interfere with your spots. Remember, all the trades are done in your spot wallet. So transfer, once you buy on your spot, you can transfer to your funding wallet so that you know that those coins in your funding wallet are for hodling.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, please. So for the coins to buy for hodling, please get in touch with your upline. We don't want to share the list here. Why? Because there are some members, there are some prospects here that are yet to activate their bots. So these are classified information. We only want to share it with those who are active. So please get in touch with your upline. The list will be shared with you. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. See you same time tomorrow. Please ensure you are here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye-bye from this side. Good night, everybody.